So, as is to be expected with the announcement of 1 week at Flumpty's, or the multiple announcements by now on different websites, people have been wondering why I'm making a third game when I said that I wasn't going to. And I'm not technically making a One Night at Flumpty's 3, but it is a legitimate question, so I'm going to try to address that in this video. And it's not going to be the most upbeat video because this is actually kind of a hard topic for me. But first I want to address why I said that I wasn't going to make a third game in the first place. Whenever I made One Night at Flumpty's 2, and I made the developer commentary, I said that I didn't think there was going to be a third game because I kind of used up all the ideas I had for a One Night at Flumpty's style game, and I wanted to try to move on to other more original things if at all possible. I wanted to just, leave those fan games behind and then keep moving forward. And I then made a frequently asked questions video, which it wasn't really much of a video. Everything was in the description. But in the description of the video, instead of saying it probably wouldn't happen, I said that a One Night at Flumpty's 3 would not happen. And the reason I said that with such certainty is not because I was sure that there wouldn't be another game, even if it wasn't in a one-night style. And it wasn't even because I wanted the third game to be a surprise. I didn't have it in mind at the time. I just didn't want people to ask more questions. And that's kind of a terrible thing to say, but it's the truth. I just wanted people to kind of shut up about a third game. And I hate that. I hate that I said that, and I hate making promises that I can't keep. Because even if it's a good promise to break, like, oh, well, I'm not going to make any more games in the series that people seem to like. Oh, it turns out I am. Well, it's still a promise that I'm breaking. And a promise that I break is an indication that I shouldn't have made that promise in the first place. So, I don't mean to be a liar. I really don't. And this kind of thing has been haunting me for years. Because years ago, I made Riddle School, and I made one game and people wanted to see more, so I took what I made and tried to expand upon it. And then people said, make a third one, and so I spent a long time making a third one, and I took a hiatus in the middle of it because I didn't have enough ideas. And then whenever I finally finished it and released it and people seemed to enjoy it, they still asked for more of them. And I knew that I wasn't going to make a Riddle School 4. I just knew that I wasn't. But in my mind, that meant I wasn't going to make another game where you're a kid who escapes school, because that was something that I'd kind of done to death already. What I didn't know was that I was going to make a Riddle School 4 in which you click a button and then you die instantly, and that's the whole game. And I also didn't know that I was going to make a Riddle School 5 that takes place in space for some reason and has entirely different rules. And even after I finished that, and I thought that I'd given the series the perfect ending, people still wanted a Riddle School 6. And I thought, where could it possibly go from here? How could I top what I just did? And eventually I had the idea to make an entire series, which would be Riddle Transfer, and I made one game and I released it and never picked it up again. I had 5 planned. I'm never going to make them. It's just never going to happen. And I can say that with certainty because it's been years now and I've still had no inclination to pick it up. And even in times when I've thought, hey, maybe I should go back to that and surprise people, it just still hasn't happened. I have no interest. If it ever happens, it's going to be way down the road, and it's going to be when people have long forgotten about it. But I don't want to repeat that same mistake again. I ended the series at the wrong time, and I know that I did. And I made promises that I couldn't keep. So, right now, I am making 1 week at Flumpty's with the intention of it being the last game in the series, which is why I said in my recent teaser that I posted that it's the final installment. Do I know that it's the final installment? No, I don't. Do I know that it's going to be finished? No, I don't. Because anything can change with time, and I only say that it's the final installment, and I say that I will finish it because that's what I really want. I really want it to be finished, and I really want it to be the last game. I can say with confidence that those things will happen, but not certainty. I just really want to be able to say that 1 week at Flumpty's is a satisfying send-off for the series, People will play it and say, you know what, this is good. We don't need any more after this. Even though I know people will still ask for more, and that's kind of the curse of making a series, or making anything. And I'm not the only one with this problem. Egoraptor, he said, you know what, I'm going to make Metal Gear Awesome 3. It's going to be the next thing I finish. And he said that several times, and it's still not done. And it's probably never going to be done because, well, he's working on other things now. He's working on Game Grumps. He's working on Starbomb. He's doing animations for completely different things. He's pretty much left that behind. Someone on Newgrounds, who I think went by the name Little Deuce 9, made a series called Final Fantasy Daycare, and there were 5 of those, and then he started making a whole new series called Final Fantasy Jailbreak. And he made one part, very much like Riddle Transfer, and stopped, because he just didn't want to make any more, and now he's working on different things. And he's been doing that for years. I'm just terrified, for a number of reasons. I'm terrified of ending something when it's anticlimactic. I'm terrified of taking something too far and beating a dead horse. And I'm terrified of getting addicted to one thing and not being able to move on to other things. People used to only know me as the guy who makes Riddle School games, and now everyone only knows me as the guy who makes One Night at Flumpty's, which is a cycle I guess I will have to endlessly accept, but when I say that I want 1 Week at Flumpty's to be the last game, even though I don't know if it will be, I mean it. I want to learn how to move on. I do have a couple of ideas that I'm inspired to work on after 1 Week at Flumpty's. Neither of them are Flumpty related. One is a game that is just kind of a concept that I would like to play around with, and it's in a genre that I haven't really done anything with before, and I think it just could be fun. And then there's another game that I've been working on for about 5 years, and it's still nowhere close to being done, and it's barely even started. I'm not going to say anything about it because it's a top secret project, and it's very dear to my heart, and it's the game that I most want to finish. But it's also a very difficult game to make, and I know that it's going to take forever, so every second that I don't work on it feels like a waste, even if I'm making something else. And that's another difficult thing about being me. I'm very thankful that people enjoy my work, and I never want to stop making games, because I believe it is my passion. It's just not all fun and games. Okay, well, maybe I should actually answer the question that I opened with now. Why a 1 Week at Flumpty's? Part of it is I really just want to end the series properly, like I said, and I feel like having a week-long game instead of a night-long game is probably the best way to do that. And also I wanted to experiment with the concept of a 5-night, or in this case I guess it has to be 7-night game, because there's a build-up there that you can't get with one night. So yeah, I want to play around with that. I think it'll be different. I hope it will be interesting. And yeah, I'm having a lot of fun with it so far, and I sincerely hope that it is enjoyed. So thank you all very much for watching, and I will see you later.